Takže môj 11. epizódu našu Let's Play sériu Hogwarts Legacy, do môj mikrofón má dobre nastavený. No a nachádzame sa úplne inde, kde sme minulé epizódy skončili. To je kvôli tomu, že som si porobil pár Merlinových skúšok za kamerou. Vlastne tunak takto som to skoro tuto celé prešiel, tie skúšky, čo tu boli. Trošku som si aj mapu poobjavoval. Bol som aj tu, aby sme mali tam ten fast travel. Nerobil som žiadne misie ani žiadne upgrade, iba som popredával veci, čo som si našiel. Podarilo sa mi dostať jeden talent, skoro 2. Takže to som mi povedal, že to spravím normálne tuto na videu. Kde si ho dám a dáme si toto na toto komu. To proste tento spell. A po čo tu máme? Dobre, vrátime sa k tomu Albertovi, nakoľko sme dokázali sme poraziť tú žiačku zo Slizolinu v minulej epizóde na konci. Takže sme vlastne splnili aj úlohu pre neho. Takže poďme teraz rýchlo k nemu. Skúšam teraz inak mať mikrofón pri ústach, takže dúfam, že to bude dobré. No a keď nie, no tak sa s tým budem musieť zase pohrať. A nevadí, no, lebo niektoré videá, keď tak počúvam, tak som extrémne prepálený, či jak sa tomu povie, že až hulákam do toho mikrofónu. A to je väčšinou dané tým, že mám strašne nahlas tú hru, lebo... Dobre, no tak tuto do vody padnem. Nevadí, budeme trošku mokrý, ale to nevadí. Ale no! Tak nemám rád. Neviem prečo mi to...
Revelio.
Jak to povedať?
Lumos.
Aha. Dobre. Pardon. Čo? Joj. Neviem prečo to robí tá hra. Sem mám, ale kde je vchod? Aha. Počkaj, ja musím ešte ten listok zobrať, ja idiot. Kde to bolo?
Revelio.
Lebo iná nedostanem ispekčka. Už máme, nie? 17. Ešte nie. Tak asi budeme mať 17, keď to tu dokončíme.
Oh, you're back! With something to report, I hope?
Mr. Weeks, I was able to set a record on my broom.
Incredible! Miss Reyes must have been shocked. Tell me, how was the broom?
A little turbulent and it's wanting for a bit of speed, but it fared well enough. I will say that it tended to drift a bit to the left on certain turns. Heard a slight swoosh when I dipped.
Oh, thank you. That's precisely what I needed to know. Drifted, eh? I shall get to work immediately. Even the naysayers will be forced to admit that my work's had potential all along.
I'm excited to hear more.
I have a very good feeling about this upgrade. I guarantee you'll be pleased. Expect to hear from me soon. How to address the issue of altitude as it relates to speed?
Okay. No, máme ďalší bod. Čo tu ešte máme? Duch našej lásky. Použijem mapu. To som nechcel robiť. Poďme sa túto pani profesorkou. To je na level 6 a my sme 17. Si myslím, že som trošku dosť prefarmený. Nebudeme si klamať. Počkaj. Asi toto je najbližšie. Si dokážem tipnúť. Ale uvidíme, no, že či som to dobre tipol. Hneď ideme na to, chlapci a dievčatá. Len som si nasledoval Počkej, kde to mám? F... Kde to lieta? Paráda. Poďme za pani profesorkou Weasleyovou. Počkaj, na toto bolo...
Incendio. Confringo. Levioso.
Kým na to prídem, no. V tej časti... Sme ešte asi neboli. Paráda.
Professor Weasley? Somewhere away from prying eyes.
Forgive me, the headmaster stopped me and I... Merlin's beard. I see you've wasted no time. Well done. Shall we?
After you, Professor.
To keď sa nemýlim, tak to bola komnata najvyššej potreby, či?
What is this place?
This is the Room of Requirement. It only appears when one is in real need of it. Ordinarily, a student might stumble upon this room entirely
Aha, je to
by
komnata najvyššej
accident.
potreby.
If ever. I'd only planned to suggest to you how to find it
Revelio.
by walking past that bit of wall, focusing on what you need. But you've managed to reveal the room on your own. While I'm here, we should take advantage of the moment. Now, where is Deke? He must have sneaked past and gone ahead.
Deke, Professor.
The house elf I was speaking to in my classroom your first day. Thought he might help you use the room once you've found it.
No ale tu neprejdeme.
There's no chance I'm clambering over this mess.
Podpalíme to, pani profesorka.
This presents the perfect opportunity to teach you Evanesco, the vanishing spell. You can cast Evanesco to vanish certain objects, such as these chairs and other things here in the room. I suggest you practice the wand movements first, then you can clear the chairs away.
Dobre, takže máme nové kúzlo. Takže tak. Vanesku. Dobre, kde sa záme?
Now, cast Evanesco on... Excellent work. You'll note that you are now in possession of Moonstone. We should
Revelio.
discuss its uses later. Let's move on.
Najlepšie bolo, keby si to takto používal aj na nepriateľa, že Evanesco a proste
Where
nepriateľ
in
furt.
Merlin's name is that elf?
Ty.
Is that... Goodness. My old school bag. I wondered where that had got to.
Aha, takže pani
Can't
profesorka si
believe
niečo
it's still
našla.
here. I'll just take a quick look at this. Give you an opportunity to explore on your own until we locate Deke.
Yes, Professor.
OK, takže máme voľný pohyb.
Revelio.
Can't you keep it down? Some of us
Máme to
trying
tu
to rest.
trošku preskúmať. Aha, tam je.
Levioso. Accio.
Poď, hop. Nice, truhlička. No, lepšia čapka. To sme dali preč, toto
Hope this isn't as
podlezieme.
precarious as it looks. Revelio.
That's not helpful, you worthless pile of tin.
Tam hore.
Revelio.
Asi som sa stratil.
How does anyone other than a house elf manage to get around in here? What was that?
Paráda.
Was that a golden snitch? Revelio.
Perhaps you should summon your wits and find out.
Levioso. Accio. Revelio.
Tu nie je nič.
Levioso.
Myslím, že tu strávime chvíľku. Čakaj.
Accio. Compulso. Levioso.
Bližšie to už neviem dať.
Revelio.
Alebo... Počkaj.
Compulso. Protego. Accio. Compulso. Accio. Compulso.
Ešte, že som taký múdry. Ešte, že som taký múdry.
Levioso.
Ja na to prídem. Škoda, že už na to prikladám 10 minút, ale...
Accio.
Jak sa tam mám dostať?
Revelio.
Čo tam je? Danko! Nehnevaj ma, chytám nervy.
Levioso. Accio. Revelio.
Nikto nič nevidel.
I
Dal
hope
som to na
that
prvý
house elf can
pokus.
find us in here.
A vôbec mi to netrvalo takto dlho. O tomto nikto nebude ho rozprávať.
Yikes! Careful!
Huh? Oh, there you are. Wait right there. Deke will come to you. Hello.
Ah, Deke. We've been looking for you.
Apologies, Professor Weasley. Deek was looking through some of what's appeared in the room since Deek was last here. Is this the student?
Indeed it is.
Deek is honored to meet you.
Deek has been a friend since I was a second year. We discovered this room together. I mentioned you to Deek. We believe that you might be able to benefit from this room like I did. Deek, would you be so kind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. The Room of Requirement will always be equipped for the Seeker's needs. It's unplottable, so won't appear on any map. Most happen upon it by accident, if ever. Deek's seen students in need of an extra file for potions stumble upon the room filled with them. You seem to have accessed it in its form as the Room of Hidden Things.
I was thinking about needing a place away from prying eyes. Brilliant.
Oh, that explains it then.
What I need specifically is a place where I can catch up on my schoolwork without distraction.
Well then, the room can provide you with precisely that. Now, it's time to focus on what you need. Just close your eyes. Imagine the room precisely as you need it. The room will do the rest.
You've given yourself quite a canvas to work with. I look forward to seeing what you do with the space. Ah, and it seems the room has provided you with a desk of description. Excellent. It can identify unfamiliar items of clothing.
No konečne
One
budem
should
môcť tie
always
oblečenia odhalovať.
understand the effects of anything in which one is clothed.
No, na to som čakal, že neviem jak dlho. No super, poďme sa teda poprezliekať a... Okej, daj mi to. Ale rukavice chcem naspäť slizonin. Ukáž, lepšie sú, ale ja nechcem brýle. To je horšie, nevadí. No ty kukus, jak vyzerá tá baretka. Oblečenie nie. A ešte tu bol tento plášť. Tiež nechcem. Šála nie. Dobro.
You'll find plenty of items of clothing that need to be identified. The desk will be an invaluable resource.
I imagine the desk of description will come in handy.
It will. I hope you'll take advantage of it. Now, I'll give you a brief lesson in conjuring. The room might not provide everything you need on its own.
Conjuring?
Yes, the magic of creating or conjuring objects. I'll teach you.
Dobre, nové kuzlo. Takže keď som... Máme nové kuzlo. Čo nemá ani nejaký špeciálny názov.
Very good. When conjuring more complex objects, you'll need what's called a spellcraft. Spellcrafts are like recipes. They list the ingredients or resources needed to conjure a particular object. You should have acquired some for a potion station and potting table from tomes and scrolls in Hogsmeade.
I did. Where can I find the resources I need?
While resources such as moonstone can be obtained throughout the Highlands, it's much safer and easier to purchase them. They can also be collected by vanishing objects in the room, such as the chairs you vanished earlier. In fact, you should have enough resources for now.
I see. Can I regain resources by vanishing something I've already conjured?
You can indeed. Quite perceptive. Why don't you give it a try? Go ahead and conjure the potions station and potting table. You should find both familiar since they'll resemble the ones you've already used to study magical plants and brew potions in class.
No. Počkajte. No, vyčaruj. Ukáž. Dáme si to tak teraz. To sa mi páči. Jo, dám. OK. A... k tomu.
Well done. You can use these whenever you need to brew potions or grow plants. Presuming, of course, you've collected any seeds or potion ingredients you need in Hogsmeade or outside the castle grounds.
Oho. Okay.
Deke will be here to answer any questions you may have. Do not underestimate his insights.
Ďakujem, pani
I will be
profesorka.
sure to speak with Deke if I need anything. Thank you.
Good luck. I shall linger a bit longer in case you'd like to learn another transfiguration spell for use in the room.
OK, takže konečne máme odhalené aj tie predmety, vieme, kde ich máme odhalovať. Máme rýchlo cestovanie. Nemáme nič iné? Nie.
I'm ready for the next lesson, Professor.
Very well. First, you'll need to gather some moonstone. You can acquire it by vanishing items here in the Room of Requirement, or you can gather it carefully outside of the Hogwarts grounds. Return to me once you've gathered enough, and we shall begin the lesson.
Come and see me as soon as you can. I've returned from a rather unproductive trip to the Ministry, hoping your time has...
Revelio.
OK. K tomuto sa možno vrátime ešte, ale teraz poďme za pánom profesorom Figom. Ale máme otvorenú spomážne konečne tú komnatu najvyššej potreby a vieme si tieto veci odhalovať.
I would like to teach you Wingardium Leviosa. It can be used to levitate objects for a short time. Once you've completed a few prerequisite tasks, do see me after class.
Pani profesorka sa chce so mnou vidieť. No nič. Poďme tuto spraviť nejaké veci pre pána profesora Figa. A neviem, či v tejto epizóde, ale tej budúcej určite pôjdeme za pani profesorkou našou milovanou.
I was hoping to see you.
You're back.
Finally. Minister Spavin talks more than he listens. Ranted on and on about rogue dragons. Wouldn't listen to a word about goblins. Speaking of which...
Listen, Professor. So much happened while you were away. I received a flurry of messages from Professor Black's house elf, Scrope.
Scrope sent you messages?
Yes, I thought it was odd too. He asked me to meet him and then told me to take the toast.
Why would you want to take toast?
To a cave under the lake. That's where I found Richard Jackdaw's ghost.
Who on earth is Richard Jackdaw?
He was a student here long ago. Anyway, he told me about a secret cavern. I went there, and right next to Jackdaw's skeleton, I found the missing pages.
You found the pages?
I did. And because Jackdaw had followed the map they contained, when I found the pages, I found the location on the map. Believe it or not, It's a room below Hogwarts.
Why am I not surprised? Shall we?
I was hoping you'd say that. Oh, and we'll need to bring the book.
Aha, takže teraz vlastne pokračujeme tej hlavnej úlohe.
The room is
čo
called the
sme
map chamber, by the way.
pred 2
And the portrait of
epizódami,
Percival
alebo
Rackham
kedy?
awaits us there.
Keď sme stretli toho profesora,
I
no,
look forward to meeting
ale on
him.
povedal, že proste bude sa s
How
nami
did this
rozprávať
jackdaw
len
get the paper?
keď,
Evidently,
keď
Peeves
dostaneme,
stole them, and Jackdaw
jak sa to
stole them
poviem,
from him.
celú knihu.
Oh, Peeves. To think it was beneath us all this time. This looks promising. A map. There's Hogsmeade. And over here, the Forbidden Forest. And, of course, Hogwarts. It's magnificent. If only you were here to see this.
OK. Takže máme tu celú mapu hry. No a poďme sa teda porozprávať s pánom
Hello, Professor
profesorom.
Rackham. We've placed the book on the pedestal as you asked. And this is my mentor, Professor Fig.
How do you do, Professor Fig? And you, my young friend, see now why you needed to return with the book?
I do. I also see why you refer to this room as the map chamber.
That you have come this far tells me that you possess extraordinary magical ability, the potential and power of which will unlock should you prove yourself worthy. The location of each of 4 trials will, in time, appear on the map. Trials that will test you and give you access to invaluable knowledge. Trials that you must complete on your own. Do you recall the pensive memory you viewed in my vault in Gringotts?
I do recall seeing the memory, but I don't remember all of the details.
My friend Charles and I spoke of the portkey and of trials we'd created for one who could see traces of ancient magic. Charles is another of the keepers, a designation we gave ourselves centuries ago, in light of the knowledge that we have been bound to keep hidden. Until perhaps now.
So, the passage from your ruins to Gringotts, everything in the vault, the restricted section, finding this room, none of these was a trial.
They were an important part of the journey, but they were not trials themselves. The fact that you have come this far, however, bodes well. The trials were designed to ensure that the power and knowledge we have kept secret for so long does not fall into the wrong hands. They will test your abilities, both innate and learned. But of equal importance, everything you witness as you complete the trials will inform what you choose to do with all that we share. You will need patience. The trials have much to teach you. It will take time.
I'm afraid we don't have the luxury of time.
We have waited this long, Professor Fig. Surely a few more.
Respectfully, sir, while I do not know the secret you keep, I do know that our young friend here has seen traces. traces of a powerful dark magic being wielded by goblin kind. And we encountered an uncommonly powerful goblin wielding such magic as we prepared to leave your vault at Gringotts. We may already be too late.
This is grave news indeed. Young friend, do you trust Professor Fig?
I do.
Then, in the light of your considerable skill and all you have already accomplished, we shall begin. You will find the location of the first trial marked on the map below you. Whilst Professor Fig may assist you in locating the trials, they may be completed only by one with our ability.
Shall we have a look? I know that tower. It's not far. You may have seen it yourself.
It looks familiar. Perhaps your young friend is more well-traveled than you might think.
As your mentor, the least I can do is go ahead to make sure it is safe. Join me as soon as you can.
I'll find you at the tower as soon as I can.
Until then, be careful. And do not tell anyone where you're going.
OK, pán profesor, ale žiaľ Bohu... toto chcem. Čo? Nie, to ja musím dokončiť. Kde je mapa? Kam mám ísť? Ukáž? Svet? Už? Získaj a použij. Čiže mandragoru mám, nie? Ukáž? Nie. To je mandragora. Dobre, poďme to kúpiť. Prasinky... Sem. Bude sa nám hodiť to Wingardium Leviosa. Podľa mňa dosť. Legendary kúzlo, ktoré som si myslel, že sa už učíme, ale to bolo len Leviosa.
The freezing spell. It is an efficient way to cool down a heated situation.
But
first, I will need you to complete a few tasks. Once you've done that, come and see me.
Čo chcem? Žabinku, to sú vece. Pičo, tak tento to nemá.
No one can say I don't keep a stacked shelf.
Kto by to ešte mohol mať? Tuto. Si myslím, že tuto by to mohli byť, to je taký hrybík. A áno, aj do toho hrybíku to máme skúpiť. Ako, no, aspoň si myslím podľa tých dvoch ikoniek. Získej a...
Revelio.
Dobre, takže získaj a použij. To môžem hneď. A Mandragoru navíc nepřiateľ súčasne.
Come on inside. Oh, watch yourself though. Let's have you leave here alive. You're a force to be reckoned with, aren't you? Scaring all the goblins away.
Expelliarmus.
Such a wee bairn giving a thrashing to a troll. Oh, I can't believe it.
Revelio.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Sorry I'm in a bit of a tizzy. I was just scolding some of the plants for spitting and nipping. I suppose it's my own fault for putting more than 4 to a tray. By the way, Beatrice Green is the name, but you may address me as Madam Green. Welcome to Dogweed and Deathcap. Oh, mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there wasn't the constant demand for antidotes, I wouldn't need to stock so many of the little dears. Except, of course, for curses. And, well, if you've been petrified, then obviously you've come to the right place. Mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there's an uprooting, you'll be the next one to drop dead, and I'm in no mood for a clear-up.
What do you have for sale?
Well, what say we show you some of what's available? Oh, I'm always thrilled when a young one makes a wise purchase. I can tell you'll go far.
Bolo to dosť drahé. A čo by som pre moju pani profesorku nespravil? Dobre, toto jedno by sme mohli hneď použiť. To je toto. A teď by sme mohli nájsť nejakých nepriateľov. To nemôžem. Počkaj.
Akio!
Keď tým smerom je väža. Môžeme lietať, takže teraz by som potreboval len nájsť nejakých enemy. Inak prišiel som na to, že tie balóny sa dajú rozbiť. Či ste to vedeli, ale... Počkaj, použij na víc nepřátel, takže víc nepřátel... Je tu.
Haven't a clue why there's such a fuss over. The Ministry ought to relax their feelings towards the dark arts. What's this?
Assignment's all finished.
My ears.
Dobre. Bom, chlapi. Dobre, moje FPS-ka protestujú. Tak sa tam portnem. Tak. Wingardium Leviosa a poďme sa naučiť Wingardium Leviosa a na dneska by som to ukončil. Alebo nie na dneska, ale proste tento diel by som ukončil. Aha, tu je moja pani profesorka.
Professor, what made you want to teach herbology?
How lovely of you to ask. I've always had an affinity for greenery, so this situation is a bit of a dream come true. After graduation, I was thrilled to be asked to step in for my old herbology professor. He'd had a slight accident, you see.
Oh dear. A shame for him, but it worked out well for you.
Well, he never cared, really cared for the plants, and they could sense it. Oh, you'd be surprised how perceptive a plant can be. At any rate, the trouble began one day when he cut into a Wigan tree. Unfortunately for him, its leaves were hiding a bowtruckle. You may recall the marvellous creatures that resemble a twig. The little beast gouged the professor's eyes quite fiercely, but terrifying, I'd imagine. Likely for the professor, too.
And that's when you took over as the herbology professor?
Well, not quite. After 3 weeks at St. Mungo's, my predecessor regained a tiny bit of his eyesight. He insisted on returning to the greenhouse. Within a week, he claims by accident, kicked a Chinese chomping cabbage, so it was back to St. Mungo's for him.
To je hrozné, si myslím.
What a string of bad luck.
Well, I felt awful for him, but I dare say I felt a bit more sympathy for the cabbage. Upon his discharge from the hospital, his indifference to plants had turned to utter disdain. He lost what little patience he had left with a particularly temperamental venomous tentacula and, well, his resulting leave of absence continues to this day.
I'm glad everything worked out as it did and that you're the herbology professor now.
Very kind of you to say. I do love these gardens and helping my students grow. Lovely speaking with you. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and remember, be kind to your Wigan trees.
Už má... Čo? Aha, behom mňa. No dobre moji, to si necháme na budúcu epizódu, takže ak sa vám epizóda páči, dňa like, ak sa nepáčila, daj kľudne dislike. Nezabudni ma sledovať na TikToku, na Instagrame, odber na YouTube, moje meno bolo Narty a seva.